Hello viewers, welcome to Big Man Business YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the top import and export commodities of Malaysia. The country of Malaysia has enjoyed decades of industrial growth and political stability, helping it attain a position as the 20th largest export economy in the world. If you're new to the Big Man Business YouTube channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell to receive updates on new business expert videos. For more international business news and updates, please visit www.bigmanbusiness.com. Malaysia's total annual exports amount to $270 billion and its imports for the same period come to $212 billion, resulting in a positive trade balance of $57.6 billion. The country is generally viewed as having a vibrant economy. Malaysia has seen a $2.1 billion rise in the annual value of its exports over the last 5 years from $288 billion in 2013 to $270 billion in 2018. The GDP of Malaysia is $359 billion, resulting in a GDP per capita of $11,373. Malaysia's top 5 commodity exports. Iron blocks accounts for $61,332,142.00. Iron sheet piling accounts for $40,565,977.00. Cheese accounts for $16,865,362.00. Other processed fruits and nuts accounts for $14,543,091.00. Malaysia's other notable exports include cars, which accounts for $64 million. Rubber tires accounting for $38 million. Self-adhesive plastics accounts for $31 million. Non-woven textiles accounts for $29 million. Trailers account for $27 million. Palm oil accounts for $11 million. The top export destinations of Malaysia are Singapore with $36.8 billion, China with $36.1 billion, the United States with $28.3 billion, Hong Kong with $19.5 billion, and Japan with $17.2 billion. Malaysia's top 5 commodity imports. $54 million went to scrap iron importation, $35 million went to cheese importation, $23 million went to scrap, aluminum got $15 million. Other notable imports are cars with $223 million, packaged medicaments with $36 million, rubber working machinery with $24 million, computers with $24 million, telephones with $21 million. Refined petroleum. Global export sales of refined petroleum are worth $753 billion annually, and Malaysia is the 11th largest exporter with $19.1 billion, which is about 2.5% of the overall export market. Malaysia's refined petroleum was exported mostly to Asian countries. Among its fastest grown customers between 2017 to 2018 were China, Vietnam, and Bangladesh. Aluminum. The annual value of global aluminum shipments is $61.1 billion, and Malaysia is the 9th largest exporter with a 3.6% market share. Malaysia has posted strong growth in aluminum export values over the previous year, with an increase of $316 million, which is 16.8%. Exported aluminum from Malaysia primarily went to Vietnam, which is valued at $346 million. South Korea with $310 million, Turkey with $273 million, India with $247 million, and Japan with $206 million. Cars represent $782 billion in yearly global exports, with Malaysia contributing $431 million, which is 0.06%, the 43rd biggest car exporter worldwide. Cars from Malaysia primarily goes to Thailand, valued at $313 million, Indonesia with $46.9 million, Philippines with $28.3 million, Chinese Taipei with $5.5 million, and Sri Lanka with $4.47 million. Palm oil. Although Malaysia is the second biggest exporter of palm oil after Indonesia, it isn't a huge part of their overall economy because of its size and diversity. Malaysia's top 10 exports. Comprised of two similarly sized land masses in Southeast Asia, namely Peninsular Malaysia and East Malaysia, Malaysia shipped $234 billion worth of goods around the globe in 2020. That dollar amount reflects a 23.2% gain since 2016 but a 1.8% drop from 2019 to 2020. Based on the average exchange rate for 2020, the Malaysian ringgit depreciated by -1.3% against the US dollar since 2016 and declined by -1.5% from 2019 to 2020. Malaysia's weaker local currency made its exports paid for in stronger US dollars relatively less expensive for international buyers. Malaysia's biggest export products by value in 2020 were electronic integrated circuits, refined petroleum oils, palm oil, vulcanized rubber clothing or accessories, and solar power diodes or semiconductors. In aggregate, those major exports accounted for 37.6% of overall exports sales from Malaysia. That percentage suggests a relatively concentrated range of exported goods. Malaysia is the world leader for exporting vulcanized rubber clothing or accessories and ranks among the top countries for global sales of palm oil, solar power diodes or semiconductors, and electronic integrated circuits. The latest available country-specific data shows that 78.4% of products exported from Malaysia were bought by importers in China with 16.1% of the global total, Singapore with 14.5%, the United States with 11.1%, Hong Kong with 6.9%, Japan with 6.3%, Thailand with 4.6%, South Korea with 3.5%, Taiwan with 3.4%, Vietnam with 3.1%, India with 3.1%, Indonesia with 3% and Germany with 2.5%. From a continental perspective, 71.5% of Malaysia's exports by value were delivered to Asian countries while 12.4% were sold to North American importers. Malaysia shipped another 10.3% worth of goods to Europe. Smaller percentages went to Oceania led by Australia and New Zealand with 3%, Africa with 2%, then Latin America excluding Mexico but including the Caribbean with 0.8%. Given Malaysia's population of 33 million people, its total of $234 billion in 2020 exports translates to roughly $7,100 for every resident in the Southeast Asian country. The following export product groups represent the highest dollar value in Malaysian global shipments during 2020. Also shown is the percentage share each export category represents in terms of overall exports from Malaysia. Electrical machinery, equipment accounts for $86.6 billion, which is 37% of total exports. Mineral fuels including oil accounts for $26.5 billion, which is 11.3%. Machinery including computers accounts for $20.2 billion, which is 8.6%. Animal or vegetable fats, oils, waxes account for $13.5 billion, which is 5.8%. Rubber articles accounts for $11.2 billion, which is 4.8%. Optical, technical, medical apparatus accounts for $10.9 billion, which is 4.6%. Plastic articles accounts for $8.2 billion, which is 3.5%. Iron, steel accounts for $5.2 billion, which is 2.2%. Other chemical goods account for $4 billion, which is 1.7%. Aluminum accounts for $3.8 billion, which is 1.6%. Malaysia's top 10 exports accounted for over 4/5 or 81.2% of the overall value of its global shipments. Rubber including items made from rubber was the fastest grower among the top 10 export categories, up by 58% from 2019 to 2020. In second place for improving export sales were animal or vegetable fats, oils, and waxes via a 17.9% gain. Malaysia's shipments of iron and steel as materials posted the third fastest gain in value, up by 17.8%. The leading decliner among Malaysia's top 10 export categories was mineral fuels including oil, thanks to a minus 23.2% drop year over year weighed down by lower revenues for petroleum gases and oils. Malaysia's top 10 imports. Located in Southeast Asia near powerful trade partners including Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam, and the Philippines, Malaysia imported $189.8 billion worth of goods from around the globe in 2020. That dollar amount reflects a 12.4% increase since 2016 but a minus 7.4% downtick from 2019 to 2020. Based on the average exchange rate for 2020, the Malaysian ringgit depreciated by minus 1.3% against the US dollar since 2016 and declined by minus 1.5% from 2019 to 2020. Malaysia's weaker local currency made its imports paid for in stronger US dollars relatively more expensive when converted starting from Malaysian ringgits. Malaysian imports represent 1% of total global imports, which totaled $19.085 trillion estimated for 1 year prior. From a continental perspective, almost 3/4 or 74.2% of Malaysia's total imports by value in 2020 were purchased from fellow Asian countries. European trade partners furnished another 9.7% of imports bought by Malaysia, while 9.3% worth originated from North America. Smaller percentages came from suppliers in Oceania, which is 3% led by Australia and New Zealand, Latin America, which is 2.3% excluding Mexico but including the Caribbean, then Africa with 5%. Given Malaysia's population of 33 million people, its total $189.8 billion in 2020 imports translates to roughly $5,800 in yearly product demand from every person in the Southeast Asian country. The following product groups represent the highest dollar value in Malaysia's import purchases during 2020. Also shown is the percentage share each product category represents in terms of overall imports into Malaysia. Electrical machinery, equipment accounts for $57.3 billion, which is 30.2% of total imports. Mineral fuels including oil account for $22.7 billion, which is 11.9%. Machinery including computers, which accounts for $17.9 billion, which is 9.4%. Plastic articles account for $7.8 billion, which stands at 4.1%. Optical, technical, medical apparatus account for $5.4 billion, which is 2.8%. Iron, steel account for $5 billion, which is 2.6%. Aluminum accounts for $4.8 billion, which is 2.5%. Vehicles account for $4.5 billion, which is 2.4%. Gems, precious metal stands at $3.8 billion or 2%. Rubber article stands at $3.6 billion, which is 1.9%. Malaysia's top 10 imports accounted for 70% of the overall value of its product purchases from other countries. Malaysia's imports of aluminum posted the fastest growing increase in value among the top 10 import categories, up by 32.9% in cost from 2019 to 2020. In second place was the electrical machinery and equipment category, which expanded 2.6%. The other top product category to accelerate in terms of Malaysian purchases was rubber, including articles made from rubber via a 0.8% increase. Leading the decliners year over year were vehicles down by minus 30.3%, iron and steel down by minus 24.2%, then mineral fuels including oil down by minus 24%. Thanks for watching this video. We are open to suggestions. Kindly drop your comments in the comment box and don't forget to subscribe to the Big Man Business YouTube channel. See you in the next video.